Are you looking to buy or sell a home in Ottawa? Are you hearing conflicting information on whether it's a good time or not such a good time to buy or sell? Well, don't go anywhere. I'm here to help you understand what's going on in Ottawa's real estate market specifically, so that you'll be better prepared to decide whether it is the right time or not for you to buy or sell. Make sure to stick around to the end if you're a seller considering in the next year. I have a hot tip for you that you don't want to miss. This update is going to cover the 3 summer months of 2025 and is specifically for the City of Ottawa boundaries. So it's not the same as what you see for most of the other realtors in the Ottawa market, as their stats cover areas outside of the city boundaries. In preparing this update, I realized that a seasonal update like this works well for the slower seasons in real estate. The summer is typically a slower paced market, and this year was no exception. I'll share with you the trends of what we saw over the June, July, and August timeframe in Ottawa, and as we head into the autumn season, what we can expect. The first thing I'm going to talk about is months of inventory. You might wonder what this is and why is it important. The months of inventory is a measure or ratio of how many homes are on the market and how many homes have sold in any given month. It represents how many months it would take to sell all of the currently listed homes given the current rate of home sales, if no more homes were listed for sale. The key here is that it is affected not only by how many homes are on the market, but also how many homes are selling. Both of those change throughout the year, creating an always shifting value of months of inventory. The trend of months of inventory is what is important. As a buyer, you want to see a higher months of inventory, given that you have more selection of homes and fewer buyers out shopping for the same property that you're wanting. And as a seller, you want a lower month of inventory, meaning fewer homes on the market for buyers to choose from, with lots of buyers shopping, which could mean quicker sales and potentially upward pressure on prices. Months of inventory changes with the seasons. The highest months of inventory is typically in December and January, when there simply aren't many buyers out shopping. The lowest months of inventory typically is seen in May, when most buyers are out shopping, and that is what we see for this summer update. The months of inventory rose throughout the summer months. It started at 2.8 in June and rose up to 3.7 by August, due to the sales slowing down through the summer, while inventory levels remained quite high. And compared to last year, the months of inventory is up just the slightest bit. When we break it down into the 3 main property categories, we can see that the market is not the same for all property types. If you're looking to buy a detached home, the months of inventory rose from a little shy of 2.5 months in June up to 3.5 months by August. The months of inventory for freehold townhomes didn't change much over the summer. It shifted only from about 2.1 months to 2.16 months. This confirms that the market for townhomes remains much quicker than the other property types. And finally, the months of inventory for condominium apartments increased from about 3.62 months up to 4.44 months of inventory by August. This is squarely in a balanced market where negotiations for pricing, conditions, and closing dates are more common. As I mentioned, months of inventory is calculated based on the sales as compared to the inventory level. So let's look at inventory. This chart shows us the level of inventory for the City of Ottawa over the past number of years, represented by the blue line. It's clear that the levels of inventory have been climbing since 2022, and you can see how the inventory levels are cyclical throughout the year. The gray bar chart that's superimposed on this chart shows you the change of inventory year over year for any given month. You can see periods where the inventory levels were dropping for years, notably 2016 to 2021, and you can also see periods where the inventory was climbing, 2014 to 16 and 2022 till now. I'd like to point out that the trend of increasing inventory appears to be slowing, which may result in the inventory leveling out in the next year or so. If sales continue to be higher in the months and years to come, we may have found a new balance within the market. What we don't want to see is a drop in inventory back to the levels seen in 2019 to 2022, which came with unsustainable price increases. Next, let's talk prices. The average sale price of all properties across the City of Ottawa this summer was $739,000 in June, $701,000 in July, and $700,000 in August. This was a steady downward trend from $741,000 in May. This downward trend of average prices is completely normal. Peak prices typically are in late spring each year. The second column shows us that the average prices for the summer months are all above the prices that we saw for those same months in 2024. This chart shows you the average sale price across Ottawa since 2014, represented by the blue line, as well as the year-over-year change for each month, represented by the gray bars. You can see that over the past 13 months, there's only been 1 month where the average sale price was below what it was for the year prior, but the price gains have been quite low, represented by the short bars. If you can think back to the similar chart that I just showed with the inventory levels, you'll see that the price gains on this chart correspond to the same period of time where the inventory levels were extremely low. On this chart, you can see between 2014 and about 2017, the prices weren't changing too much beyond the seasonal ups and downs. It was only in 2017, about a year after the inventory levels started to drop off, from which you can remember from the other chart, that the prices started to go up significantly. My feeling is that slow and steady, like that period in 2014 to 2017, and now from 2022 until now, is a lot better for both buyers and sellers for the long run. Real estate shouldn't be a speculative sport. The next thing we'll talk about is how long it's taking for homes to sell. This is the days on market, and it represents the time on market for those homes that have sold. Citywide, we saw an average of 30 days in June, 34 days in July, and 38 days in August. Note that it's completely normal for the summer months to have higher days on market due to the lower sales volume, fewer buyers. Comparing the days on market to the last summer, we see that this summer was a little bit slower, between 3 and 1 days. Breaking it down into property types, we see that the detached homes took an average of 27 days to sell in June, 30 in July, and 34 days in August, which is a mix of slightly slower and quicker than what we saw in 2024. For freehold townhomes, we saw an average of 26 days in June, 28 days in July, and 35 days in August, which is a little bit longer than 2024, which ranged from 22 to 31 days. And finally, for condo apartments, the average days to sell this summer was 46 days in June and July, and 50 days in August, as compared to 33 to 45 days in the summer months last year. The condo market has definitely been the slowest market this year, which may be affected by all of the headlines coming out of Toronto on their exceptionally slow, almost dead condo market. The final metric of how the market is doing that I'll share about is the average list to sale ratio. It's a measure of how close the asking and selling prices are. This summer, we saw a list to sale ratio drop from about 98.5% to 98%. Year over year, this was also down by about 0.1 to 0.3%. This drop stems mostly from the higher inventory levels and higher months of inventory that we're seeing this year. If you're looking to buy in the near future, or you need to renew a mortgage that you already have, there is some good news. The overall trend of mortgage rates has been a slight decrease over the summer. The Bank of Canada just dropped their overnight lending rate by 0.25% in mid-September, which is the first drop since March 2025. The overnight lending rate affects the bank prime rates and thus the variable rate mortgages. The fixed rates are set by banks based on the 5-year bond rates, which fluctuate a little bit more often. Right now, the variable and fixed rates offered by banks in Canada are both at or around, possibly slightly below, the 4% mark. As always, it's absolutely essential that you talk with a mortgage broker, ideally, or a representative at your bank to find out what the rates are for your specific situation. I know a little bit about mortgages, but they are the experts. So, what are my takeaways from the summer real estate market in Ottawa? First, inventory levels are elevated, but that's not a bad thing. The inventory levels are still climbing, but they may be peaking. What we don't want to see is a mass sell-off or influx of homes, nor the opposite, massive numbers of buyers coming back to the market all at once and dropping the inventory levels. Time will tell as to how the market will continue to shift, so stay tuned. Buyers who are ready to buy have more choice right now, and in some cases they have more time to decide, but it's not the case for all housing types or areas within the city. I personally had condo buyers get outbid twice on luxury condos this summer. So talk to your trusted realtor to learn about the specifics for the market that you're interested in, because it's probably not the averages that I'm reporting on. And finally, my message for sellers. If you're actually looking to sell, then you need to price it right and make it show like a 10 out of 10. If it's not 10 out of 10, adjust your price accordingly. And as promised, here's my hot tip for homeowners looking to sell in 2026. Now is the perfect time to take photos of your property if you think you might be selling in the early months of 2026. The fall colors and greenish grass of the fall are when your home looks like it's best, not in February under 3 feet of snow. So take photos now, or better yet, contact your realtor and have them come out and take photos, just in case that you're going to sell. For my clients, I offer drone photography, which is especially nice right now with the fall colors that we're seeing. Regardless of the season, there are always properties being bought and sold. So if you're one of those people that needs to buy or sell, or if you'd like to figure out if it is the right time for you to buy or sell, then you need to be working with a trusted professional who's going to be there and tell you the truth about how your specific needs can be met in this market. If you're looking to talk to someone about the home you own or what you plan to buy, you need someone on your side who is going to tell you the truth and lay things out clearly. The key is information and education so that you're making informed decisions on this huge financial decision. If you're looking to connect, my contact details are available in the notes or on my website. Otherwise, I'll be back again next month with an updated report on the Ottawa real estate market.